Hello, people. I pray that the Lord has kept you well and that life has treated you well, that everything else is going well with you. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you as we continue seating, sharing, inspiring, and transforming each other as we share life nuggets through the things that we go through every day. And the acronym for us is SEAT. As we sit together, we journey through life, sharing all it is that we've gone through. But most importantly, not just sharing, but learning and transforming. So I pray that even as you keep unlocking it here, that you are transforming and that you are growing and developing to be a better person than you were before you sat listening to me. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Sheila Toya. You're sitting on my space on the Transformational Moment, and I am your transformational catalyst. As I keep on telling people, I support you to develop behaviors of success no matter what it is that you are experiencing in your journey. There are behaviors of success that help us to excel and to become better individuals, irrespective of what it is that we're going through. And that is why today I'd like to take a moment, just one small short time out of your space to really talk about something that is really challenging and really a significant part of our lives. Trying times, tough times. Have you ever gone through life and you experience one storm as another? A storm is that situation where everything that seems like it will rise up and go against you does. It rises up in your marriage, it rises up in your children, it rises up in business, it rises up even politically. You wake up one morning and everything, look at Nigeria, for example, who knew would be there, right? Well, that's a trying and a tough time right now. But do you know that in life, we are bound to go through tough times? Do you know that in life, we are bound to experience or to find ourselves in one challenging season or another at any one time? And these challenges are bound to come. And what is important is for us to really focus on how it is that we can get through tough times. I like what somebody said at some point, that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And how is it that these tough people are able to come out of those situations? How is it that you and I can come out of those situations better? That is what we'd like to talk about this evening. And so, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Am I tough? Are you tough? Well, the only thing that gets to really say whether we are or not is how it is that we react. Tough times will come our way, yes. But what do we do in those seasons to cause us to excel? One thing I have learned in the journey of life is that when you do find yourself in a trying season, the first thing that you have to remember and to keep on reminding yourself is that there is a God that is in control of it. I know that sometimes we go through such challenging times and we feel like, you're all alone. Everything and everyone probably does not even understand you. Nothing gives you a break. It's one hit after another, one hit after another. It's like life keeps on punching you, boom, boom, boom. But I'd like you to remember that there is a God. There is a God that is in charge of all seasons. There is a God that is in charge of that hard time when it's really so hard, when it's so difficult, when you're experiencing one thing or another. There is a God that is in charge of those seasons. And so even as you find yourself in that season, I'm reminded of Job. Do you remember? If you're a Christian, and even Muslims know about Ayub, if you find yourself in that season, you have to remember there is a God. The story is told of Job. Job was a man that was faithful to God, that loved God, that was committed to God, tried to do everything right. And one day we see the enemy, the devil, Satan, or whatever it is that you call him, that he makes a petition to God to go and really attack Job. And the next thing is that we see Job going through one thing and another, one thing and another. And even as he's going through all that, even his own wife, his friends did not understand it. But there was a God that was there with him even from the beginning, even before it started. Can I tell you today that God is with you? I know that it gets tough. I know that it gets rough. I know that it gets hot. It really, really does get to the point when things are thick. But before we go any further, can I just remind you that there is a God? And because we know that there is a God that is in charge of that situation, that is in charge of the life that is in you, that is in charge of the life that surrounds you, can we be able to come back to base and just sit and just rest in the fact that there is a God? And because there is a God, the first thing me and you should learn to do, or you and I should learn to do, we should learn to run to the God of all seasons. This is a God that you can run to. How do we run to God? We pray. How do we pray? We pray how best we can. Sometimes it can be a one-liner. Sometimes it can be 10 minutes. Sometimes it can be 1 hour. It doesn't really matter. For as long as you get to that point where you speak to this God that cares and loves you and knows what is best for you. And as we are continuing through life, as you journey through life, when you depend on God and when you trust in God, the next thing that you will know is that you will find that that burden becomes easier, that burden becomes lighter, that burden becomes a little bit more bearable. Why? Because God helps you and infuses strength in you that helps you to really just overcome or go through that season. As you are going through that time and as you are going through that challenging moment, when you know that there's a God that you can run to, a God that is able to do exceedingly abundantly and above that which you would ask or think or even imagine, gives you a confidence of knowing that, guess what, I can make it. So as you look into God, as you trust in God, as you cry out to God, as you talk to God, and as you share what it is that you need to share, one thing you always have to remember, or one thing I have learned also in my journey, is not to put my trust in men, is not to look unto men and depend upon men to do only what God can do. That is the greatest recipe of disappointment. What do I mean by that? You're looking into a man to be able to do to you what only God can do. There are seasons that God puts you in, like he did to Noah. He put him in the ark and shut him in. You're looking to have a solution in the hands of men, well, what only God can do. There are situations that no one else can get you out of but God. And so don't look unto man to give you solutions. Don't depend on man to get you out of fixes. Don't look unto yourself, even for that matter, to get you out of situations, unless you know that truly deep within you, the spirit man in you or the person that is in you is fully convicted that this is the way that you should go. So how do we avoid disappointment? Don't look into man in that season, right? So change your focus, remove it from man, depend upon God. How do we manage, again, to stay true to ourselves, first of all? And how do we manage to get over the tough times and go through the tough season? Remember that even as you're going through that difficult season, there must be a goal that you have in your mind. What kind of a goal am I talking about? Sometimes the only goal that you have or you desire to have at that point in time is to be jovial. Sometimes, guess what? It might be just to be, somebody who is going to come out of their way to become or to learn something new. Because some of the situations and tough times that we find ourselves in is a function of we being in situations where we're used to operating in a way that is familiar to us. Some places that we need to go to, or the things that we'll experience that will be things that are beyond comprehension for us, would require that we engage ourselves in learning new things, learn a new way of living. Yes, you're experiencing tough times, you're experiencing difficult times financially. What is it that you can do? What is your goal in that time? What is your goal in that season? Your goal in that season would primarily be, let me cut down. How do I manage with the money that I have? How do I change? How do I accommodate and transform my life to be able to fit in the level, the economic level that I'm in right now? When you fail to understand what it is that you need to do, or when you fail to understand what your goal is in that season, then you miss out big time and you find yourself faltering and falling during tough times. How do we overcome the tough times that we're in? 1, focus on God. 2, don't focus on man. Don't expect from man what only God can do. 3, have a goal, have a vision. And then 4, decide within yourself to surround yourself with people that are positive. Many a times, like the way Job did, we surround ourselves with people that do not understand us. They have no clue about what it is that we're going through. They've already made their premeditated judgment on how it is that, on why it is that we are in those particular seasons of our lives. But purpose in your life at that point when you're going through trying and tough seasons, to identify particular individuals that are like your morale boosters. These are people that are like your sounding boards. These are people that are like pillars who can give you the encouragement or even insight on how it is that you can navigate your path as you journey along. How do we make sure that we are able to overcome the trying and the tough seasons that we are bound to find ourselves in? One thing that you have to remember is that seasons do change. Seasons will change. But the only constant in that will be you and I. So what do we purpose to do? Let's learn through it. Let's get the gleanings. I call them the gleanings. As you go through those difficult times, what is it that God is teaching you? What is it that situation is teaching you? Unless you get those learnings, guess what? That situation is going to become like a mountain. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be just too much on you. But the minute you learn what it is that you need to learn concerning the lesson that life is handing you, the better it is that you become. But how much better it is for you to wake up tomorrow and use the learnings that you have gotten to help somebody else's journey. Isn't that interesting? That not only have you gone through it, but you're also equipped with wisdom to apply in your life so that your life can be transformed, but most importantly, also help somebody else's journey as well. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. One thing that you always have to have guiding you consistently and persistently all through your life is resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back. Things will come your way. Things are going to be things are going to come. Let me tell you guys, things will come. But one thing you have to purpose is to be resilient. Remember, the same water that will make the egg hard is the same water that will make the potato soft. Did you hear me? The same water that will make the egg hard is the same water, hot water, boiling water, that will make the potato soft. It doesn't matter whether you're a potato that is hardened and needs to soften in some other areas, or whether you're the egg that is too soft that needs to harden in some other areas. The most important is to transform and grow. And that's why we're here in this space, sharing, inspiring, transforming, as we grow together, journeying together on these transformational moments. And guess what? I'm done, but I'll see you soon. God bless you.